Is there anyone in there?
Not quite yet.
Actually, let me pull back in here for a second.
Let me plug it in.
No, don't plug that in. Plug the mic in. Anyone on?
No.
Hi there, it's Steve the Guardrail Guy. We are on Interstate 4. We're getting on Interstate 40, right at Interstate 81. We're headed up to some of the worst flood zone area in Tennessee. We're not going to be going into any active zones. I'm going to specifically be checking on one individual by the name of Bootsy in Cott County, but I thought what we were trying to do today was I took $5 of Hannah's that had just been sitting on her dresser, change, and I wanted to see if I could turn that $5, well, what I could turn it into. So we were able to get 32 bottles of water, and by sharing that, some friends gave me a little bit more money, and a little bit more money. So far we've turned that into about 4,000 bottles of water, and I have to check my emails periodically, but it's probably going to turn into 10 to 20,000 bottles of water. We are here on Interstate 40, and we're coming up on the Interstate 81 split. I'll show you some infrastructure. I'll have Grayson's on the phone, and we'll turn to the guardrail right here on the right. That's the ET Plus. It's the controversial 4-inch model. Go ahead and turn back towards me. That system has been implicated in just hundreds of fatalities. It tends to lock up in the feeder chute. I'm kind of nervous because I don't typically do it live while I'm driving. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm trying to stay with eyes on the road and all. But goodness, any mistake I make is going to be highlighted. But anyways, go ahead and turn back. We have a MSKT guardrail there. Proper bearing plate orientation. And we're going through the interchange of Interstate 81 and Interstate 40. Now the interstate up here will close in about 19 miles. Interstate 40 through the mountains over the border with North Carolina is completely closed. The interstate is washed out, and just incredible amounts of damage. I mean, apocalyptic type damage that is just, it's unreal. Bridge after bridge after bridge. Well over $100 billion worth of damage. And this is in the mountains of East Tennessee. It's like a bomb went off. Anyways, we're just left Dandridge, Tennessee, headed to Newport. I'm going to check on a friend, a fellow we just recently met. My friend Steve and I we've been looking at different properties around East Tennessee, and this was the very first property we looked at up in Cott County. It's not one we ended up wanting to buy. Actually, I'll pause for a second. Over on our left is one of the deadliest crashes in the state of Tennessee occurred right here. It was a crossover crash. But it was just a horrific crash involving Hankook tires. And there were one of the most diabolical companies I think I've ever heard of. Anyways, we are headed up to Newport, Tennessee. Go ahead and just put it on the road. We'll just talk. We have a bridge here. It looks like there has been somebody's roadside memorial. We have in the median, we have a cable barrier, 4-wire. I definitely prefer cable barrier that has 4 wires versus 3. It just performs better. Up here on the left, you can see where the cable barrier ends before the kind of funnels you right into the guardrail line terminal. I do not like that kind of guardrail with steel spacers and rectangle washers. It's very, very old and dangerous rail. Another 18 plus, more very old and obsolete rail. One of the things that Tennessee has done and done remarkably well is we're coming over the French Broad River. I'm going to pause for a second. French Broad is one of the rivers. Turn and take a look at. This is extraordinarily high. This is normally a winter pool, and it is up higher than, it is just so incredibly high, full of debris, very muddy. They've been holding a lot of water. Fortunately, when this hurricane hit, most of the pools were winter pools, so it was a lot less, and we could hold a lot of water up. Had been a summer pool, the loss of life and flooding could have been even more catastrophic. So we are headed up towards Newport, Tennessee. Hopefully, we're not going to go into anywhere that we don't want to be a nuisance. We're not going to be a nuisance, but I do want to check on a friend, see how he's doing. He was a Vietnam vet. He's a fellow we just met recently, but just Cock County, mountains of East Tennessee and mountains of Western North Carolina are full of mountain men. Some really interesting characters. It's kind of the area where Popcorn Sutton and his moonshine came out of. There's some really smart, Popcorn was a smart guy, but they're not just backwoods hicks. They're real people with real stories, with some big personalities. And we're gonna stop up. I don't know if we'll be able to maintain the live with proper signal up there. If not, I'm gonna jump out, go talk to Bootsy, and we have a pedestrian out here on the interstate, but not a safe option. So up on the right, you actually see a bridge with that looks like, is that an Esket? That's an Esket, but our length of need is not adequate. You're going to hit the bridge potentially. I'm just not a fan of, it's probably one of the biggest problems in America is that we don't calculate our runout length, how much guardrail we need for the hazard properly. Anyways, it's Steve the guardrail guy. I can't really take a look at questions because I'm driving. I've got my son Grayson who is holding the phone. I've got my eyes on the road, my eyes on the prize. If you've joined us, thanks for joining us. We are on Interstate 40. We're headed up to Newport, Tennessee. We're going to be forced to get off the interstate here in just a minute because Interstate 40 is completely and totally washed out related to the hurricane lane. And we are just driving on the interstate. On our left, since I am the guardrail guy, we have post beam cable barrier, cable longitudinal barrier. We have post there. We have on our right W-beam guardrail, much of it very old, very obsolete, 80 plus years old. Or not 80 plus, 40 plus years old. Sorry, I don't want to be accused of making stuff up. We've got an MSKT. So you got a short I'm working on with the MSKT. This is a modern guardrail. And one of the things, go ahead and turn it towards me. So the guy that invented the MSKT, his name is Dr. Dean Second. He invented the modern guardrail, energy absorbing guardrail. He invented the modern crash cushion. He invented MGS guardrails, which is the mid-rail splices. He wrote the crash testing standards. Dean invented the ET2000, the SKT, the MSKT, the flared energy absorbing terminal, the first flared energy absorbing terminal. When Dale Earnhardt was killed at Daytona, Dean invented safer barrier. Dean's done work on NFL helmets so that they would reduce concussions. This is a guy that's been recognized. He was brought to the White House, and President Bush, George W., recognized him with a National Science Medal. He was recognized by the president. NASCAR's Hall of Fame recently inducted Dean into the Hall of Fame for his work on safer barrier. Because no NASCAR driver has died in a similar crash since Dale Earnhardt's death. After they installed safer barrier, the NASCAR became much safer. So one thing I like to tell people is, okay, if you want to modify a system like the MSKT, I'm okay with that. As long as you two have been recognized, your science work, your engineering has been recognized by the President of the United States. And you have been inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and you've done work for the NFL, and you have that resume. When you have that resume, go ahead and field drill a hole in the MSKT, or change it out. But until you've run 2,500 crash tests, I would prefer that you just follow Dr. Sinking's pattern, his recipe for the MSKT. Anyways, turn that back around. That's me getting off my soapbox. We are coming up to exit 432. This is Newport, Sevierville. We're going to actually get off here at Newport, Sevierville. We are kind of coming into the areas that were hit. You can see some trees down here on the guardrails. This was not a really bad area. We're going to get into downtown Newport, I hope. We have a trailing end anchor that we just passed that's missing anchorage. But we are headed, we're going to get off here at exit 432. Put my turn signal on so that I don't get called out. I'm a little bit nervous doing it live while I'm driving, even though I'm hands-free. Grayson's holding it. I'm just talking.
Jimmy says, well, I hope you're alive when you're driving.
I'm alive. I'm going to turn towards Sevierville first and see if we can find a little bit more water to take up. I might buy a mum for my friend. I'm going to see if I can buy a mum, because I like to, even with all the ugliness, I want to see hope in the world. And I love chrysanthemums. Please, we'll take a look at Dollar General, see if we can get some water here, or see if it's all out. Anyways, I'll pause and be able to talk to you directly for a second, and then I'll pass it back off to Grayson. Anyone else have any questions? Yeah, there's some water. We'll get a bunch of water. So one of the things I did was, let me flip this around. Hey, thank you. Just donated. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you so much, Anthony. Let me flip this around. So we're going to Gray, let's go in here. We're going to go in here and get some water. We'll drop it off at the donation center. We've already dropped off about 4,000 bottles. We'll go ahead and get all this. Yeah, we'll take all that. Let's see what else they have. Anyways, every time I check my Venmo or my PayPal, it's just like more and more. I said I was going to take this $5 that I got that was Hannah's and see what I could do with it. And we've been able to turn that into already about 4,000 bottles of water for those areas of East Tennessee and Western North Carolina that got hit. I'll be able to get probably 500 more bottles here. We just got off at exit 432. I'm just saying what they have back here. Go ahead and get me, yeah, get me
1001 feet.
See if we can get one of these carts. Excuse me.
Yes?
Do you have one of these carts I could use?
Or,
All your water?
yeah, in the very, very back.
Okay. So we're, that gamer guy, you live in Newport. Do you need anything? Just let me know. I mean, if I can get it at the Dollar General, I'll pick it up. I'm getting a lot closer. But anyways, we're trying to check on a fellow that they go through Newport, and then 2 for $9. Not bad. Oh, sorry, I just got clobbered by my son. We're gonna see if we get. They said they had a cart. Okay, we get this black cart. All right, so we're gonna get some more water. What is the deal with Prime Drink? There's like all kinds of stuff on TikTok right now with Prime Drink, and I don't understand the I don't know what the deal is with Prime Drink. Go ahead and load all that.
And good quality metal. It's wet.
Anyways, I don't know what the story is with Prime Drink. I don't know what the joke is. You'll have to let me in on it. Anyways, we're getting some more water. What I did was I had this change that Hannah, after she died, wanted to see if I could turn that change, and we'll see what I can turn it into. And then we've been able to take that we've been able to change that now into going on 5,000 bottles of water. 3,900 plus, somebody do the math, 24 times 6, 9. Somebody needs to, sorry, we need some right guard over here. So I have Grayson loading this up. I don't see any Prime that somebody asked me about, but I don't know I'm horrible at the inside jokes. I don't know. I'm not very good at the trends on TikTok. Anyways, we are headed up towards Newport. I'm going to check on a fellow that we just met recently, a Vietnam vet. We'll drop this off at the donation center. We'll get the rest of it up front.
Water.
Yeah.
There's more up front.
Yeah, I saw that. We're going to get that too.
Yeah. You gonna take it all, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, order more. I'm getting ready to order more for Thursday here.
Okay. Yeah. I had like $5. My daughter was killed in a guardrail crash, and I have a YouTube channel with like TikTok with like 260,000 and I wanted to take that $5 and see what I could turn it into. I've gotten like already over 5,000 bottles of water. We'll see what I can get. I'll be able to get
I'll tell you
20.
where to go to. Walgreens here in Newport.
Yeah.
It's got
Tons.
I took 16 pallets on there.
Okay.
And they've got all in the stores lined up. It's 2 for $9.
Okay.
It's all
I'll check it out. Thank you.
If you need a bunch more,
well, I think we're gonna max out my van here with this.
If you want to get more sometimes, like I said, they got them.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you for any donations. Thank you for helping. I'm gonna stop out to this fellow. I keep calling him Banksy, but he's Bootsy. Newport is full of interesting characters. People with a lot of stories, a lot of history. And so we will get this water loaded, and then we'll get back on the road and show you some more guardrails. Let me see. How many do we have? 18, 21. 21 times. Yeah, I'll take 21 more. 42.
Let's make sure I got them before we go down.
You have them.
So you want how many? I need one of the cases to ring.
Okay, can you, Greg, give her
How
one of
many?
these. I'm going to get 42.
It's a good thing you are bringing.
Thank you.
Dad,
Just keep loading them. There was 21. So Prime is high. Thank you. I'm not going to let y'all see my
red button out there, please.
red.
Yep.
Okay.
20176.
20176. Okay, thank you. Yes.
So you might want to double your order
I don't know more.
because I got the Coke's only bringing 16.
All right, so we got our water. We got to load this up. We are in Newport, headed up towards. Good friend, gonna check out his spot, see how he's doing. It's a Vietnam vet. Continue to take a look at some guardrails.
You know when your throat's
That is getting heavy,
It
folks.
says that we're due for it Thursday.
Flip that out.
Don't mean we'll get it.
You didn't get it last week, I guess.
Well, last week's when the storm actually hit, they might have rerouted it by now.
So we got 42, we got 30. 30 there. Anyways, we are gonna head up to. We don't put any more on there because it's gonna flip. So I got 30. He's gonna get 11 more. Is it? It should be 6 per.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5. There's 5.
5 times
5,
6
10,
is
15,
30.
20, 30. Yeah, 30.
He's got 11 more to go. Thank you.
Yeah, make sure you go down that ramp over here.
This ramp? Okay.
Pull your van over there.
I'll pull my
Might be
van.
easier to pull right there.
Yeah, I'll just pull right here.
Yeah, I think
Thank you. So, thank you for helping. Seeing some good news today. Well, I appreciate the kind comments. It really lifts my spirit because, like, I am a ready, fire, aim guy. And so, like, I came up with this harebrained idea today to take that $5 of Hannah's and see if I could take it to turn it into. I bought 32 bottles. I still have those first 32 bottles. I've dropped off just under 4,000 of these already. And but I came up with this idea. I'm going to see if I can take that $5 and turn it into 5,000 bottles of water to help these folks out. Well, again, I don't. If you come up with an idea, what I've learned is, don't think, if it's the right thing to do, don't think about it too long because you'll talk yourself out of doing it. I'm going to back up here in the parking lot here. Just changing spots. But don't let yourself get talked out of doing something good. So I usually will tell people what I'm going to do before I do it, because otherwise I end up not doing it. I end up not doing it. So I tell people what I'm going to do first, and then I go ahead and just do it because I'm pot committed. Because if I don't, I'm a hypocrite and a liar. So there's my first. That cost me $5. Friends and 42.
Is that how many cases?
Yeah, I got 42.
Yeah, you need one more case, baby.
One more case. Hey, thank you. So now we gotta load all these suckers. We've already loaded. Hey, what's up? It's Steve, the guardrail guy. I live in North Carolina. Grateful for your help. I'm glad I can do a little bit to help. It's a small help. We've been able to just under 4,000 already. And what's if somebody wants to do 42 times 24, do the math for me and comment. Let me know how much 42 times 24 is, because it definitely, I've hit the goal of 5,000 for sure. And I've got so many people that have helped, family, friends, YouTube friends, TikTok friends. Appreciate y'all. Because I said what I was going to do before I knew I could do it. There's so many different people who have bailed me out so many times where I said, hey, I'm going to do this, some crazy harebrained idea. And 1,008, that puts us at over 5,000.
How much was it?
1,008, and we were at three. I think we were at 39.92, so that puts us right at 5,000. So, anyways, we got to load all this, and we're gonna head down to Newport. We'll go through some of the areas that were really heavily hit. We're just up in Newport. I lost my mic. Sorry about that. We're just up in Newport, looking at about 10 acres of mountain property. And I'm going to check on a fellow I met named Bootsy. Just a good old boy. And just see how he's doing. Yeah. Well, back Gulf Coast, Ina Forrester, ice brought to us daily, big help. What I'll do is I'm gonna head over to Bootsy's house, check on him. I may come back out, grab some more supplies based on what he needs, and then I'll even, if he has some specific needs that maybe YouTube or TikTok can meet, I'll let y'all know. But right now, East Tennessee, Western North Carolina. Another thing is water. Like here, I've got purified drinking water. I'm a registered nurse by training. A lot of my patients would be on CPAP, BiPAP, use different. Oh my. Oh my, we almost flipped the. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that donation. Make sure that goes towards tomorrow's project. Anyways, we also donating distilled water is vital because there are folks that need that for their oxygen or for their CPAP or BiPAP to have that work right. We're gonna get this loaded here. Sorry, you've seen us work, so we have big load. That's the first. I started with $5. That was Hannah's $5. We have had this loaded twice already. We're loading it back up with about 1,000 more bottles here. And we're gonna head up. We'll leave most of this at the distribution center in Newport. And then we will check on this fella Boots and see how he and his wife are doing, see if they have any specific needs, and just talk about guardrails on the way. But we're just lucky to find this right as we are about to come into Newport. So we'll great. I like Grayson. He's my. So we have 10 kids. We had Hannah, who was our oldest, who we lost in the guardrail crash. And this was initially started with $5 of Hannah's money. It's been sitting on the dresser for almost 8 years, folks. You don't know what to do. Somebody said earlier, hey, Aiden, Leach, thank you so much, man. It's such an encouragement when anyone recognizes your work, but for some reason, when I see like a British pound or a euro or Australian or Canadian dollars, it means so much. It just means like somebody halfway around the world. Be careful with that. Anyways, somebody said, well, why, you're going to regret taking Hannah's $5. No, I regret having left it on my dresser for the last 7 or 8 years. Yeah, I had a digital camera that, well, Hannah did. Very good quality camera. And I finally let Hannah's younger sister, Alexis, have it. I couldn't bring myself to let her have this camera. Grief is funky, guys. Yes, it's the guardrail guy. But anyways, this is what I've done is tried to take $5 out of Hannah's change. She had a change jar on her dresser, and it's been sitting in my closet for a long time. And I took that $5 and I let my mouth talk before I thought of it. Bought that bottle, a set of water. And then I just told my friends, I told YouTube, I told others, like social media, like I'm gonna turn that $5 into 32 bottles of water, and then I'm gonna count on the rest of you to help me turn it into 5,000 bottles of water. And then we've done that. We've done that already, and I need to go back, take the receipts from everything today, reconcile that, because I think we're going to be able to turn it into 10, 20, or 20,000 bottles of water. Who knows, maybe even more. And it's just cool to see how, I kind of set on that $5,000 or 5,000 bottles, because there's once a wise fellow that took $5 or 5 loaves and fed 5,000. But anyways, been able to take Hannah's $5 that bought that first thing of water, share the story with friends and family. Grayson's sucking wind, y'all. You didn't shut the right door first. Take that back in. Take that $5 and turn it into 5,000 bottles of water, going into some of the hardest hit areas of the flooding. I'm going to go up, check on a friend here. Check on a friend that we just met recently up in Cook County, right off the French Broad River. I'll probably let Grayson just hold the phone. I don't know if he'll talk to you, but when I'm up there, because that's just going to be a private talk, just see exactly what any personal needs he has or anything. Don't want to violate a confidence, or just not the place to, do a YouTube live. That's how I'd put it. But anyways, I'm going to flip this back around, hand the phone over to Grayson. We buckled up. We're going to head down into Newport. All right. One of the things I will tell you is that if you're looking for resources in this storm, I have found the most resources at Dollar General, which I guess it's good to have them every 1 mile after all. Anyways, we're about to turn on to 25W70 US 70. Head down into Newport. This was a location, if you saw some of the tweets coming from Mark Nagy at Tennessee DOT, they got a lot of news coverage. Some of those photos were in this area. The hardest hit areas, this is Cobb County, Tennessee. I think it may actually still be in Sevier County, but Unicoi County, Buncombe County in North Carolina is just an absolute war zone. We have a Trinity AT Plus on our right, an SKT 350 on our left. We have another Trinity AT Plus on our left. That's a very controversial system. Just headed downtown Newport here in a few minutes. We'll see what we see on the way. Take a look over here. We have a Subaru. I haven't seen a Subaru in years. I'm aging myself, folks. Gas is $2.51 here in East Tennessee. Fortunately, we're not seeing any price gouging. We also have plenty of fuel. Just hit the red button for now. Call it back in a bit. We are headed into Newport, Tennessee. We're going to drop off some water at a distribution center, and then also check in on a specific individual who I recently met, who was kind enough to show us around a property that my friend Steve and I were looking at up here in Cobb County. We ended up not being interested in it, but just a character, and both of us have been thinking of this fellow since the storm. He's just one of those guys you meet, and he's colorful. There's a lot of those folks out here in Cobb County. It's a beautiful county, one of the poorest counties in Tennessee. The further you get up into the mountains, poverty here is unreal. Some of the mission of hope, if somebody wanted to, you wanted to make a donation through one of the more, a 501c3 Mission of Hope, they're partnering with Mayor Jacobs, Glenn Jacobs. You may know him as Kane, the wrestler. He's the mayor of Knox County. I'll probably take another 5,000 bottles of water to their event on Saturday. But that's an organization you could donate to. We have an SKT 350 guardrail on the right. Steve, the guardrail guy. We're just kind of taking $5 that I had in change that was Hannah's. It's been sitting around for the better part of 8 years and seeing what we can accomplish with it. And so far, we've been able to turn that $5 initially into 32 bottles of water. I was able to find those at a Dollar General. Wasn't much at Walmart. I ended up taking all that to WIVK 107.7. Dropped that first 2,000 bottles off, and then got another 2,000. Dropped those back off at WIVK. Headed towards Newport, hoping that we'd find another set of water, and we did. We got some water here. That we were able to get. I kind of feel like Mel Gibson in Conspiracy Theory, where he bought the Catcher in the Rye. We stop at every Dollar General and buy all their water. But anyways, I've been able to share, by sharing Hannah's story with friends and family and YouTube and TikTok and Facebook, take that $5 investment and turn it into 5,000 bottles of water. When I reconcile the books, so to speak, it's going to be a distribution center. Turn it over to the left, or right. Yeah, that right. We have THP. We have a staging center here. We will go ahead and let's drop all but Hannah's first 32. Well, let's go up to Bootsy's house first, check on him. We'll double back and we'll drop our we'll drop it off on the way back, and we'll see what he needs before we stop here. But I'll go ahead and turn it back towards the front. We're in Newport, Tennessee. That is a Tennessee staging area for donations. One of the things is that the water systems up here have been destroyed. They're gone. So we're needing distilled water. We have on the left, we have non-potable water that people can be using to flush their toilets. It's the system. It's catastrophic failure of virtually everything across numerous counties. It's the poorest counties in America. So it's not just there's been catastrophic loss. It's been catastrophic loss for people who can least afford catastrophic loss. Mission of Hope, typically the counties that they will work in, this is a Christian organization, but they work with every last person regardless of faith. But they work in counties where typically your free school lunch participation rate is 99%. 99% free school lunch participation. These are unreal numbers. So these are communities that can least afford the kind of catastrophic loss that they've experienced. We're coming into downtown Newport here shortly. We are it's US 321, 70, and multiple collection points I see through the area. But we are just coming up here. Water and food distribution at Memorial Baptist. Just folks coming in.
There's a few people wondering why you're not buying gallons.
I have bought bottles because I have bought, you haven't seen, we did drop off quite a bit of number of gallons, but we bought bottles primarily because we're focusing on the drinking issue. They do have a non-potable water available for folks. They have other people are bringing in gallons. I did drop off some gallon distilled water for use with CPAP, BiPAP, and various medical devices that require distilled, not regular purified drinking water or spring water. So that's kind of why I did not focus on the gallon size. I may do that tomorrow. I don't know. I'll talk to the distribution center and see what they need. We'll have a better picture. I'm gonna go over this right-hand only lane, and I don't want it. Oh, we have an A&W restaurant. I would love to get a frosty mug of root beer right now, but we're gonna pass on that. Anyways, any other questions, Grayson?
Nah, I don't see any.
Okay, so we are at Cosby Highway, and this is 2570. We are coming right into downtown Newport.
Someone said total one-way miles estimated. Total one-way miles ? Estimated.
Total one-way miles. I'm going to go with just the assumption that you're asking from where we live to here. We are near 364, and that was 432. So I'm going to say 36 and 32, 70 miles. 70 miles. I think we're 2 or 3 dams down from them. We live pretty close to Fort Loudon Dam. So we're in downtown Newport now. Cott County was hit very hard. You see though, people are blessing a box right there. And there's one of the things is we went to all the stores. There was plenty of beer. There was plenty of beer. I can tell you that. There wasn't much water, but there was plenty of beer. So we're headed up here. We're gonna check out. I'm gonna check out a friend that we just recently met. We're looking at property up here. I don't know. There's a signal. If I do, I'll just start the live. We have some high water warnings. Like Blaylock, which is a huge road contractor. If at least 4 bridges are totally out. Totally out. You can see there's some damage off to our left where they're starting to mud out. I will say that as we have traveled up here, the stores are being restocked, but the stores I'm seeing that are being restocked best, so we had some mud out that took place over here. The stores that have been that are getting restocked the best are Dollar Generals. So I would encourage you, if you you desperately need something, go to Dollar General. They seem to have it. So we are coming up through Newport. We have an MSKT guardrail over here on our left. So we have some just worthless guardrail over here on the left that serves absolutely no purpose but to be a hazard. Right up next to the fence. The worst of the very worst of this was up more towards Unicoi County, and then a kind of triangle between Interstate 81, 40, and 26. 40 and 26, Interstate 40 and 26 are gone. And it's going to be a while before they reopen. 2570, where we're at, is closed in North Carolina. I see. We're going to come up here. I'm going to be watching for the turnoff towards Woods's house. We're coming on. We have a very, very short guardrail into the bridge. Go ahead and show them the river here. Whoa! Oh, that's way lower than it was. So THP is directing traffic here. There's no trucks allowed this direction. And it's crystal clear that you cannot go here. It's just like very frustrating to me. What possesses you? We have Newport utilities, Lenore or Sevier County utilities, Milan Public Utilities, Milan Public Utilities. These are all out of town folk. Milan Public Utilities. Thank you for coming out, guys. When's the charger going to stop? Anyways, we have multiple utilities from all across the United States and Canada that have come in. Some of the areas, the roads are gone, the bridges are gone. And we're coming up here, probably going to pause. I'm going to hop off. Ray, do you want to talk to him while I'm talking to Bootsy? What? Anyways, we're going to come on up here, see if we can find Bootsy's house, see if he has any specific needs. And we'll let you know if he has any needs. That's going to be a private conversation between him and I, and all of YouTube. We'll see if anything we can do to help him. But we are in Newport, Tennessee. We've been able to turn $5 today into over 5,000 bottles of water for these communities that have been so devastated. One of the things, if you are looking for a way to donate, I mean, I'd love to be able to do some more, but you can Mission of Hope. I believe that both presidential campaigns I have now set up donations. Donate through a trustworthy source. I would encourage you to do. I think I've got turned around. Anyways, we're headed up here. We'll keep going further on up. Trying to find that turnoff Anyways, any other questions on there for me, Grayson?
Someone mentioned that it looked blurry, but I think that they also mentioned that it's back to not looking blurry.
Okay, it could be just the lack of quality signal up here. We are on US 25, US 70 in Cobb County. This is some of the areas that were flooded. Where we're at, it's not been flooded, but I think I'm going to double back. I think I missed my turn. If you are going to come up here, Hey, come up for a purpose. Oh my.
We just
Passing on
lost
a-
signal a second ago, but it got back pretty much immediately.
Like I was passing on a solid line. Going head on with us. We're going to turn around. We're getting out of sticks. This is out there, folks. I missed my turn off, so I'm going to turn around here in this business. We will go ahead and drop this water off, and we'll find Boots' house eventually. I look like Oliver. Is it Anthony? Just a little bit skinnier though. But, you know, it's guys like that sang Richmond, north of Richmond. It's kind of an area of the country that's been left behind, folks. It's just been left behind. Wall Street got NAFTA. Wall Street got Purdue Pharmacy, and we got empty factories and opioids that have devastated these kind of communities. Anyways, so we're going back under the railroad tracks here. It's the guardrail guy.
There's a dead zone right here.
We have a bit of a dead zone. With some interesting graffiti there. Y'all missed it. I don't know. We have a really old ET2000 off on our right. Still in pretty good condition, a little washed out. Very low guardrail. Probably 20 inches. And some of it, when you measure to the road, is probably 16 to 18 inches. Very likely. Just let you go right over into the hazard. But we are, we've dropped off the 4,000 bottles of water already today, just under 4,000. And we've got another 5,000, or another 1,000 here. We've got funds to get at least 5,000 more. I just have to reconcile what's been given. We started with $5. This is $5 and change. It came out of Hannah's. My daughter was killed in a guardrail crash. She had this money, this change that I just didn't have the courage to spend. Grief is funny, folks. And for those that have been there, you can understand it. For those that don't, thank God you don't understand. And that's crazy, and that's fine. Walk a moment in our shoes before you. I'll tell you this: it's much better. Turn that over towards me. It's much better to be humble than find yourself humbled. I've been a jerk in the past. I've said things where I remember thinking, I worked EMS and I saw folks who, it's like PTSD is a joke, it's for the weak. Then you find yourself in that position where you're sitting in a restaurant, somebody drops a fork and you're about to go through the roof. Little things set you off. Blood pressure 240 over 140, unsafe speed. You have really lethal stuff. It's much better to be humble than be humbled. That's how I put it. You don't want to find yourself in a position of having to be humble. So we have Newport Utilities here. We have Tennessee Highway Patrol off to the right. But anyway, so we're going to turn here. We are in downtown Newport. Actually, I'm going to continue forward. I'm in the wrong spot. It's the French Broad River, John W. Fisher Bridge. This bridge appears to be okay. The railroad bridge off to our right. Looking for a turn off to a property that we looked at. Fred, Steve, and I were up here. I may have to hop off and get a hold of Steve because I'm not finding the turn off. Man, we can keep going. I just may have to take a look for a minute. We are in Newport, Tennessee. Goodness, there's another Dollar General. They're everywhere. Jabo's Pharmacy. That looks like, is that a pharmacy with an old soda fountain? Oh, that's old school, folks. I want to come back up here and get lunch at the soda fountain pharmacy. Old Quaker oats factory. We're in Newport, Tennessee. We've been dropped off at the distribution center here for the Tennessee distribution center. We have just kind of come up. This isn't the worst of the areas, but there was some flooding in downtown Newport. Saw a few places that had been mudded out already. This food city, because I gotta orient myself a little better. Maybe I'll hop out and take a look at a couple guardrails. And turn onto Bear Avenue. And turn into the food city here. I'm gonna try to, I'll take a look at your questions. I have Grayson holding the phone. We're just out for a drive. I have Blaylocks with some non-potable water here for folks who are, what they're doing is they're able to get some water to flush their toilets, just do some basic stuff. So I've seen 3 or 4 of these non-potable water trucks, so people can come and fill that up. Let this lady walk across. We are in Newport, Tennessee. Let me go in and look at some of those mums. Turn that over there. I like mums. I like to remember that even in the darkest hour, there still is one of the things. And I love Tolkien, and there's this iconic. Peter Jackson turned it into the speech of Samwise Gamgee, and they're about to enter Mordor, and this is like Mordor's evil. It's awful. It's the worst of the worst. And they're laying there and they just see the tiniest sparkle, the star shining through the darkness. Sam does, and he realizes that there's, I forget the exact line that Tolkien used, but there's forever high beauty beyond the reach of the darkness. Andrew Peterson kind of incorporated that into a song called The Dark Before the Dawn, and when it came out at Hannah's funeral, it was The Dark Before the Dawn, and so that kind of remembering there's always, get it, come out of the ashes. Anyways, thanks to everyone who's joined me. Let me see. Yeah, so it's poor signal here. Let's see who's texting. Hey Steve, this is. Sorry about that. That was a friend who lost their son. Their son was able to. Their son was killed in Florida. His death ended up prompting about $100 million worth of improvements in the state of Florida. But anyways, they were asking me to send my Venmo. We're going to go ahead and we'll get some more water tomorrow. Bring some more back in the honor of Hunter and Isabel and others who have donated. A lot of my families. Met a lot of great people who I wish I'd never met through my guardrail advocacy. Everything looks, it's not bad where I'm at, and I'm not going to go into the bad areas because I'm not going to get in the way. We don't need to be the idiot YouTuber who gets right into the mess and makes himself part of the story. That's not cool. I can stay out on the periphery, drop this water off, check in on Bootsy, but so we're back. Sorry about that.
Your route may be affected by northeastern Tennessee floods.
Yep, they might be northeastern Tennessee floods. Go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and get back out on the road. We're in Newport, Tennessee. This area that was, it was hit, but not nearly as hard.
In 600 feet, turn left onto Bear Avenue.
We're gonna just head up. I'm gonna check on a fellow I just met recently, Vietnam vet. Just see if he showed us around a property we were looking at up here in Cott County, and both my friend Steve and I just wanted to. Bootsy's been on our mind. He's just colorful.
Take the next left onto Bear Avenue, then turn left onto East Broadway Street.
Colorful character like so many of us, but
You might fill out.
you can go ahead and put that mic back in if you don't mind, Grayson. So I'm gonna just check, make sure he doesn't have any specific needs. Make sure he showed us some kindness. Let us show it back to him. Lock, one of the largest contractors in Tennessee with non-potable water. It looks like they're cleaning out drains and just trying to get some of the main roadways in better condition. So we're coming back up here again. So like the guardrails on our left, right here, go ahead and show them those. Those are unbolted. They are just right up against the fence. They're not crash worthy. They're not going to do anything. They're just simply a hazard. Those are the kind of guardrails that annoy the daylights out of me because they're worthless. They're worthless. They're less than worthless because they do nothing. They offer no protection. They can only kill. We have to take our clear zones seriously. So again, over on the right, one of the things I would prefer to see, especially in this right-hand lane with this chain link fence, when we're installing chain link fence next to the roadway, I've seen a lot of people who've had those pipes blast through their head. It's a real issue. Use the tension wire. It really mitigates that hazard. So when you're installing fence adjacent to roadway in the clear zone, just don't use the upper pipe. Use the tension wire. We have what this fella's doing. We have a lot of trucks that don't follow your GPS. It's wrong. Your GPS is wrong. Now we have other folks that you don't need to park on the bridge. It's frustrating. The directions tell us which way to go. Keep going
Toward
straight.
East Broadway Street earlier.
So we're headed back out. I just didn't go far enough last time. We may lose you. If we do, we'll hop back on here. I'm looking for a specific turnoff. I'm not familiar enough with these roads to be 100%. I'm gonna check on a fella that we've recently met just to see if he has any needs. We'll drop this water off. But we're on US 2570. This road is closed in North Carolina. It's open here in Tennessee. Tennessee got hammered, but Buncombe County and portions of northwestern North Carolina have been wiped off now. These are communities that are gone. There is nothing left. The roads are gone. Whether they are ever built, probably $100 billion worth of damage or more. It's going to be one of the most catastrophic storms in the history of the United States. It's Steve the Guardrail Guy. We are out here, good old Tennessee. Welcome to Tennessee, the patron state of shooting stuff, where they did shoot up the sign off on our road.
It's back.
I'm going to lose you. I'm going to get you back. So if if you have to hop off, that's fine. I get it. But we are on US 70. We left Newport. We're headed up into the mountains. I'm going to check on one friend, drop off 1,000 bottles of water, and that'll put us at about 5,000 bottles for the day. We'll audit what we have for funds, reconcile that, try to buy another 5,000 tomorrow. Those ones I'll probably drop off at the Loudon Police Department. We'll probably drop another 3,000 or 4,000 off Saturday morning for Glenn Jacobs and Mission Hope. With a river over here on our left that is roaring. There's just debris everywhere in that river. It's the French Broad River. It's Steve the Guardrail Guy. Just brought some stuff up here. We dropped some water. We tried to turn $5 and change from Hannah's funds into 5,000 bottles of water for Tennessee flood victims. We've already well exceeded that goal. We're going to be able to...
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Pig Trot Road.
We're probably going to be able to buy another 5,000 tomorrow. I'll keep buying them until I run out of funds. But I want to see how many bottles I can buy.
Take the next right onto Pig Trot Road, then turn left onto Wileytown Road.
We're going to see if this area is open. I think I missed my turn. I'm going to turn around.
Continue on US 25 south for 3/4 of a mile.
Turn around here. Make sure I can make this turn. I've got this big giant white van today, and it is did make that turn. We may lose.
In 300 feet, turn left onto Pig Trot Road. Take the next left onto Pig Trot Road, then turn left onto Wileytown Road.
Finally found where I was going. It was so close the first time, I just I missed it. So we're gonna go across the railroad tracks here.
Take the next left onto Wileytown Road.
This is one of those areas where I learned County. Like,
Continue on Wileytown Road for 3/4 of a mile.
you have somebody say to you, you ain't from around here, are you? And that's okay, but when they add the word, boy, you better watch out, because you are in the wrong side of town, so to speak. They're good people. They're good people. The railroad guy with his son working out here. Anyways, we are out. I'm going to stop and talk to a fellow who I just want to check in and make sure he's okay. We met him a couple weeks ago while we were looking at some property. And I thought, if I'm coming up here, I'm going to stop and talk to him. And so if I lose you, we'll be back. We'll be back, I promise. But we're gonna stop. I'm gonna get out of the car. Narrow Country Mountain Road. Just headed out here to check on a specific. See if he has any needs. A lot of times I can't help save the whole world.
In 1,000 Turn left onto Chicopee Way.
But I can maybe make a difference in one or two people's lives, and this is one fellow I can check on, make sure he doesn't have any specific needs that I could help solve, or maybe even all my family here on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook. We could maybe help one person. Well, I'm going to hop off here and maybe help one person. Well, I'm going to hop off here. And
Take the next left onto Chicopee Way, then you will arrive at your destination.
Check and see how.
Next left onto Chicopee Way, then you will arrive at your destination.
Check and see how. Is this right here? That turn off. This is so confusing out here.
You have arrived.
That's it. I think it might be down there. It's over here on our left. No, this is the wrong. We'll take a look at that old car. Beware of dogs. Stay in car. But one of the things I want to stress is, this is the heart of Appalachia, but nobody's one. It's the same type of prejudice that feeds so much of everything. Now you get to watch me back up. I'm one of the few people in America, though, folks, that have taken a backwards driving test. I had to take a backwards driving test when I was in an EMT in New York. Joe Mahalski. I don't know if anyone knows me from my New York days. Is that right? It's a Polish name. I think it was Joe. He was a fire chief in Dunkirk, New York, and we had to do a backwards. I would have failed, folks. We had to take the test, the ambulance test, driving backwards. And it was a long test. There's just nowhere to turn around, and there's no way I would be able to turn around in this van. I don't know why I'm not using I use my mirrors. Took the wrong turn, and now I'm paying for it by backing up. But thank you, Joe, for forcing me to learn how to back up. There's a lot more pressure when you have somebody in the back of your ambulance and you're doing CPR, and you best be able to back up. Or a couple times. Now, my neighbor recently, I had to call 911, help get her loaded onto an ambulance. Well, we had to do the whole lift in the gurney, and now, goodness, it's almost easy. I don't know if you remember Raquel Welch and Osby, Bill's mother. But when they dropped the guy down the hill on the gurney, I almost had that happen a few times. Anyways, I'm going to pull back here. This is the right road. You see